3-2 again to no-go. Big swing and a drive. Deep left field. Touch 'em all, John Nagowski. A grand slam for the 3-hole for Kansas City. Down goes number 1 Washburn. Number 8 Central Oklahoma takes it by 6 here in Kansas City. They put up 90 points to do it. Good rally between two good teams. Emma Siren will swing again, blocked away. Danya Kosi and the Central Oklahoma Broncos come into Warrensburg with the upset victory. How about the Broncos today?
Weak chopper up the middle, and that was all good base.
So talk me through the Gatorade bath. How does it feel? Bases loaded. 1 out against the number 23 team in the nation of Pittsburgh State. She lifts one into left field. That ball's high. That ball's far. A grand slam for Brianna Newton. On Strikeout Cancer Day, when her mother, Michelle Newton, threw out the first pitch before the first game, as it was announced that her mother is cancer-free. Forsyth gets it done. The redshirt freshman at heavyweight. And two teams that have two very different play styles. Mules like to go spread 5 air raid. Pittsburgh State is going to run the ball a little bit more. And today it used to be a beautiful day, but it started to rain here in Warrensburg.
Yeah, and I have to acknowledge what you just did, because some people may not know the 6-7 trend that's going on in 2025. Has that made its way onto the Mules basketball locker room team?
Brother. Yes, sir, it has.
A ball and a strike to Brannon. The pitch. Sky high. Under it is Will Kriskowski. And the Central Missouri Mules take the Central Region. The Mules are headed back to Cary.
Final score, Central Missouri 12.
Watching the game from the stands or your backyard? Make it a home run with Carbless Premium handcrafted cocktails. Easy to grab, easy to sip, and perfect for every play. Monarchs still searching for their first home run of today. 7-8-9 due up for Kansas City in the bottom half of the 4th, starting with Josh Bissonette. He doubled earlier in this one. Started a rally for Kansas City in the second, plated the first run. His double didn't, but later that inning, the sac fly did. Chalmers from the stretch. Misses for ball 1. And that is something about this starter, Chalmers. He has been starting today and throwing from the stretch. Not something you see all that often, not super rare, not a one-time deal.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me, I mean, it's not really the same, but it reminds me a little bit of how Julian Garcia, when he was here, he would throw out of the stretch, but he wouldn't necessarily bother to come fully set when he knew he didn't need to, and that's kind of the attitude that Chalmers has.
1-1.
But you want that consistency, right? Because he's somebody who, we've seen him when there's men on base and he's throwing out of the stretch, he'll mess with that timing, he'll stand still for a while, and so you want to make sure that you're consistent from those situations to situations like this.
The 2-1 to Biss. Hard ground ball, that's through for a base hit. Josh Bissonette, 2 for 2 on the day.
Well, the 2 hardest hit baseballs for Kansas City so far this afternoon have come from that guy right there. Josh Bissonette had that hard hit double down the line, and now a single through the left side. Really good to see. Bissonette's always going to provide value because of his steady presence and great defense at shortstop. But getting his back going again would be huge for the Monarchs looking ahead to the playoffs on Wednesday.
Yeah, you look at the last 2 plays in this game. Bissonette rolls a double play,
right.
6-3.
That's
then
right.
He gets a base hit. Here's Noriega. Takes strike 1.
That's a good summation of the value Bissonette's provided to this team all season long.
Noriega's been the catcher today for Kansas City. He's been beat up a little bit back behind the dish. He's taken 2 shots in this game. The 0-1. A ball and a strike to Noriega. Noriega is only 24 years old, but he's in his 8th pro season. The 1-1 from Chalmers. Roped into left field. That's a fair ball, a base hit. Bissonette will round second. He heads to third. Noriega chugging to second base. A double for Andres Noriega. 2 in scoring position with no away. for Fajardo.
Well, Kansas City, when they have gotten a hittable fastball from Dakota Chalmers, they've been able to make the most of it. That was a fastball up with the letters to Noriega. Loves that sort of pitch. Rips it down the left field line. Noriega's having himself a good game and having himself a solid season. And there's that little ballroom dance celly that we know and love from Andres.
Now that will send a meeting to the mound for Cleburne.
Nobody warming in the pen as of now for the Railroaders. Just a pep talk here, I think, from Brooks Carey.
Monarchs Baseball is brought to you by your local McDonald's. Want to score big? Download the McDonald's app today. Get exclusive deals, earn points for free food, and make every visit a home run. Don't miss out on the delicious savings waiting for you. McDonald's is a proud sponsor of Monarchs Baseball, and stop by the Legends location after the game today. That McDonald's at the Legends may be calling my name today, Carter.
It's one of those days, isn't it, on these Sunday games? Got another day game tomorrow. Grab yourself a little McDouble on your way out.
And get some ice cream, but only if the Monarchs win. You can only get ice cream after a win, right?
Winner ice cream is for winners. Was that a rule that you followed when you were a kid?
I want to say it was. I was going to act cool and say we didn't lose a whole lot, but I'm not sure that that's true.
My Little League team, we lost a whole lot. They had me on their team. They were not going to do very well.
Joyner Fajardo with 2 in scoring position. Brantley Bell on deck. Infield in. First pitch. Chop foul.
And it's another kind of aggressive move here from Pete and Caviglia to bring this infield in with second and third none out. I think he recognizes how well Godot is playing, and we've been talking about it all day, but this is a must-win game, not figuratively, literally a must-win game for Cleburne today.
Here's the 0-1 to Fajardo. Bender misses 1-1. And Cleburne, a team that hasn't scored in the last 13 innings at least that they've played. They were shut out yesterday. They haven't scored yet today. So every run is precious. The 1-1. Cracked by Fajardo to right field. Viers goes back to the track, to the wall. Goodbye. 3-run shot for Joyner Fajardo. The 9-hole shows his power in Kansas City.
Well, how about that from an unlikely source? Joyner Fajardo, we know his ability to get on base and steal bags. Here, he shows off the power swing for Kansas City. Number 3 of the season for Joyner, clearing it out toward the loading dock, and boy, is that a big hit to break this thing open.
3 RBIs and his 3rd home run of the season. Couldn't have come in a bigger spot for Joyner Fajardo. 5-run lead for Kansas City. Now it's Brantley Bell, one of the hottest bats for the Monarchs, entering today.
And it is a homer for history, brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. $50 donation to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum.
Big home run for a big cause. 0-2 count. Bell today is 0 for 2, a strikeout and a groundout. He's had 2 strike counts both times up. This one into left field, it lands foul. A game of inches, Bell on the wrong side this time.
Yeah, he thought he had a chance at that, was heading up the line, but just pulled that a little bit too much. Like you were saying, Brad, he's 0 for 2, but his approach has been just as good as we've seen from him since coming over via Chicago. And this is a guy who I think has a good chance to be a postseason all-star at second base this year.
His 2-strike hitting this series has been second to none. Here's the 0-2. Inside 1-2. Bell is in a baseball family. His brother Brock Bell was with the Cincinnati system with the Dayton Dragons. It's a fun name. This one's cracked into right. Viers camped, and Viers has it for out number 1.
Yeah, and of course the son of Jay Bell, World Series champ. The Dragons, one of the most popular minor league team. That's one of the ballparks that's kind of on my bucket list to head over to Dayton. It's a beautiful stadium.
I feel like Cincinnati, that system has a lot of fun names.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The Tortugas?
The Tortugas,
correct?
yeah, in Daytona, the Florida State League team. Of course, the Chattanooga Lookouts, where Julian Garcia is currently applying his trade. They've got a nice name, too.
Has to be confusing the first time someone starts to work in Cincinnati. Dayton, Daytona. Has to trip someone up, right?
Well, isn't there one system, I think it's the Astros, where if you could play at Tri-City and then get called up to Quad Cities. So it's like, hey, you're playing
Makes
great.
sense.
Here's another city, you know?
Upgraded by 1, 3 to 4.
That's right. I think it's Houston. It's off the top of my head.
It's an 0-1 count to Mike Caprice.
And then, of course, there's the other Tri-City in the Frontier League in upstate New York, which is entirely different.
And Brantley Bell was with Tri-City.
Right.
And he was the Frontier League MVP in 2022. The 0-1 to Priest. 1-1. Micah Priest was with the Cleveland organization earlier this season. Spent a lot of time in their AAA. Now he's with Kansas City. He cracks one high. It'll stay in the infield. Shumper is camped, and the shortstop will make the play. 2 away.
Wind is really playing a role. You know, I think Shed Long at second was thinking that was his ball, and Nick Shumpert says, no, man. Puts it away over by the second base bag. Never easy to catch pop flies in day games here at Legends Field. It's cloudy. The lights are not quite on just yet. Kind of that in-between lighting right now.
In steps John Nagowski, a Florida State alum. First pitch. From the left side, Shumpert has it over to first, and that closes up the 4th inning. But Yoiner Fajardo cracks a 3-run shot in the 4th. Kansas City leads it by 5 right here in KCK. Welcome back to Sports Page. In this next segment, we'll be joined by Mules baseball outfielder Vance Tobel. Vance is a redshirt senior for the Mules. A graduate from Rogers Heritage High School in Rogers, Arkansas, Vance has excelled in his time as a Mule. Last season, a .342 batting average in 53 games with 68 hits and 11 home runs. That success has carried into this season as Vance has hit .368 through 28 games with an on-base percentage of .444. This is Vance Tobel right here on Sports Page. Vance, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So at the beginning of the season, you got to play at Dyken Park in Houston, Texas. That's the home of the Houston Astros. Could you talk me through that experience of playing at a big league park?
Oh, it's a blast. You know, we are pretty much big leaguers for the 4 or 5 days we're there. We get their locker room, their cages, weight room, pretty much the whole facility just to ourselves. So it's a pretty fun thing to enjoy. Not a lot of people get to.
I asked Coach Crooks about this, but in Houston you used the ABS automated ball strike system. Did you have any experience with challenging a pitch down in Houston?
Yes, I did challenge one pitch I thought was a ball, but the challenge system proved me wrong, and it was a strike, and I essentially struck out. So, but I think it's a good thing. I like it.
So what's that feeling when you challenge a pitch and you're maybe not as right as you originally thought you were?
It's kind of like, dang, not as good as I thought I was, but it's all right. It's always your next at bat, and so, yeah.
This season in Division II, you've also played with the pitch clock. Has that affected the game at all that you see, or as your time as a hitter?
No, not for me personally. I've seen people in the past where they've gotten a pitch clock violation because they weren't in the box and ready, and they weren't too happy about that, but I haven't had any problems with it.
You were redshirted here at UCM in 2021, and since 2022 you've had an impact in every single season, and now you've been here for 5 seasons. How were you able to step in here and make an impact so early in your career?
Really just knowing I had to come in and fill a role and do what I could to help the team win and be the best I can be.
And in an age with the transfer portal and all of that, guys are going in and out, what made you stay here at UCM for those 5 years now?
Really just the team, the coaches, teammates, just the relationships I've made here, and I've been happy here, so why leave?
Looking at some of your career statistics, 36 home runs for the Mules in your career. Could you talk me through? I was not a guy who ever had the opportunity to hit a home run. I did not have that kind of power. Could you talk me through that feeling of hitting a home run?
Well, when you know you got it, you got it, and so you kind of just know. But there are some times where you do hit one, and it's like, I don't know if I really got that one or not. So.
Looking back, do you remember your first ever home run? And if so, could you talk me through that one?
Collegiate home run? Or just...
Or ever.
Oh, gosh. I don't remember my first home run ever, but my first collegiate home run was my redshirt sophomore year. It was a home series here against Arkansas Tech. And game 1, hit one.
That's when you know you have power, when you don't even remember the first one. Looking at your batting average statistics, in 2022 you hit 286, 2023 351, 2024 was 342, and now you're at 368 this season. What's been working especially this season to have that 368 average?
Really just putting in the work on my own, and doing it outside of practice, and just staying locked in the box and trying not to chase anything and stay locked in on one pitch that I'm hunting.
You were talking about practice. For people who maybe don't have as much experience playing baseball, could you take them through a typical baseball practice here at UCM?
Yeah. So we'll start at 1 o'clock, and that's when we have our early hitters, and from early hitters we'll go into a quick little hitters meeting, and then either some form of base running or mobility and arm care, and then we'll go into our defensive groups, and then after that we'll go into some kind of team portion.
I was talking about your batting average statistics. You've stayed pretty consistent over your career, and you're talking about that time that you put in outside of practice. Is that part of the way that you stay so consistent?
Yeah, I would say that. It's just really just for anybody, putting in the work just to stay consistent and locked in at all times.
And putting in that work outside of practice, what does that look like for you?
Kind of just going off of what I've been feeling in the box and kind of working on that. Or some days it's like, I didn't feel very good this day, so I'm just going to go do some feel-good BP just to get that good feeling back. And yeah.
In your career in the box, you've been hit by the pitch 21 times. Could you talk me through how that feels? These guys are throwing 90s or wherever they're sitting. How do you stay in there and wear one?
Well, one, it's Coach Crooks. He's always telling us to anchor in, don't move your feet. It's a free base runner. Why move? I mean, it really, yeah, it'll hurt for a second, but it really doesn't hurt after that. So
talking about that, it really does just hurt for a couple seconds?
Yeah. Yeah, you run down the line, Backus will say something to you. Yeah, and then after that, you kind of just forget about it and go on about the game.
And when you really get hit, sometimes after you can see those seams, how often do you see seams?
It really just depends how hard the guy's throwing. If he's throwing a little harder, then yeah, you'll probably see some seams, but if he's not throwing as hard, you might not.
So talking about you as a hitter, you've had much success. We've talked about that. We've talked about velocity. When you're facing a pitcher, what's more tough for you to hit, a guy with high velocity or with more finesse, like a breaking ball type guy?
I would say probably more finesse, because once you get on time with a guy who's throwing hard, you already got him. But if it's a guy that's throwing a bunch of different pitches that are moving all different directions, that's pretty tough to hit.
We've talked about the home runs. Last season you had 11 home runs. This season you already have 13, which is the most you've hit in a season as a Mule, and you were only about halfway through. How have you found more power, more success at the plate this season?
Really, like I said, just putting in the work and just staying locked in the box on the one pitch I'm hunting, and when I get it, just don't miss it.
You wear the number 22 for Central Missouri. Does that number have any significance to you? Was that a number just assigned to you by Coach Crooks or someone else? How did that work out?
I wore 22 in high school and just always liked that number. And once I was finally able to get that number, I was happy about it.
A big event that happens for Central Missouri baseball is the First Pitch Banquet. This season, George Brett comes to town. How exciting is that for this squad?
I think that's really cool because a couple years ago we had Reggie Jackson come speak to us, and I think it's great to have another ex-big leaguer come in and talk to us just about really everything.
For most of the season this year, you've hit in the 3 spot for Central Missouri. How do you view that role as the 3-hole? Normally the big power guy. Do you play into that role at all, or how do you feel about being in that spot?
I like it. It's a guaranteed first at-bat in the first inning, so that's nice. But no, I'm not really going up there thinking like, oh, I'd have to hit a home run here. I'm really just thinking, just another guy in the lineup, just do your job. There's one job to do, and I got to do it.
And you've talked about doing the job. I've noticed that Central Missouri at times will play a lot of small ball, bunting with a cleanup hitter to move guys to second and third. Is that a big Coach Crooks thing? How does that work out for you?
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a Coach Crooks thing. He'll either wipe off the bunt sign, or he'll leave it on, and you just got to do your job and believe in yourself and get the bunt down.
So we've talked about how you've been at Central Missouri now for 5 seasons. Looking originally when you chose UCM, what made you choose this place?
At first, I didn't even know this place existed, and then one of the coaches came and talked to me and said that they were interested in me, and it was really my only offer out of high school, so I decided to take it, and it's been good from there.
This season is about halfway through for Central Missouri, a little over that mark. How do you view the success of this team this season?
Yeah, we've had our ups and downs for sure, but I think going into this weekend we'll kind of figure it out and put everything all together and play the way we should play.
Something unique to baseball, during the spring it's an outdoor sport. We've seen here in Warrensburg the weather can get crazy, icy, different conditions. How do you play through that?
Really everybody's different. Me, I don't really mind it. Doesn't really bother me too much. So I try not to think about it too much. If it's cold or if it's raining or it's hot, just try not to worry about that, only just worry about the game.
So here in your redshirt senior season, your 5th year, looking back on your time as a UCM baseball player, what would you say is your best memory as a Mule?
I'd probably say getting the opportunity to go to Cary last year or going to Houston every year. The Cary trip was a lot of fun, and Houston every year is a blast. So.
And then as a redshirt senior, what are some of those goals for you in your final season here at UCM?
Would love to go back to Cary again. Chance to win a World Series. Yeah, I'd love to be an All-American again. Yeah, just success for the team, really.
Well, Vance, congratulations on all of your success and best of luck in that remainder of this season. That's all of the time we have for this episode. I'd like to thank our guests, Coach Kyle Crooks and Vance Tobel, for joining us, and hope you'll tune in next time for Sports Page.
It was a crucial win for the Kansas City Monarchs at Legends Field last night, getting the better of the Cleburne Railroaders 3-0 behind some great pitching and some timely hitting as well. Now they're on the precipice of locking up home field for the first round of the playoffs. They get that if they win today over the Cleburne Railroaders right here on Facebook Live at aabaseball.tv. Hi, everybody. I'm Carter Woodhill alongside Brad Hadank, and this is a game that means a ton for the Kansas City Monarchs, Brad. When we look at the standings, the only two names that matter in Monarch Land right now are Kansas City and Fargo-Moorhead.
Yes, Kansas City with a win today or a Fargo-Moorhead loss will lock up home field, and that is ever so important as you go into the playoffs, especially in a 3-game set. You would have to travel on Wednesday in the first game of that 3-game series, but those final 2 games at home, that's so important, Carter.
And let's take a look at how things break down between Kansas City and Fargo. Monarchs got some more good news yesterday. They didn't just win. Fargo-Moorhead lost their game, so now the magic number is just 1 for home field.
Yeah, and that's so important because Kansas City is in such a good spot. The only situation where Kansas City doesn't host is if they lose the next 2 games of the season and Fargo-Moorhead wins both 2 games of the rest of this season. And Fargo-Moorhead playing Sioux Falls, that's a tough opponent, so Kansas City in a good spot right now.
Yeah, and they're going to have to get a win today to make sure that they can control their own destiny. They don't want to rely on Fargo-Moorhead. They want to get a W and get it sent done right now. Let's take a look at the pitching matchup for today. It's brought to you by 96.5 The Fan. Tune in weekdays to Fesco and Dusty, Cody and Gold, and The Drive on the radio, on the Odyssey app, on YouTube as well. Your home for Kansas City sports is 96.5 The Fan. It's a good one today. Dakota Chalmers, who pitched very well against Kansas City his last time out against the former major leaguer Ashton Goudeau.
And Chalmers in his last 3 outings has gone 20 innings of only 2-run baseball. When you look at Goudeau, his last 19 innings have been no-run baseball. So 2 starters right now with 2 very good offenses, but the starters could be the story today because they've been throwing so well.
Yeah, let's break down exactly how good Ashton Goudeau has been in the month of August, because the season-long numbers really don't do him justice right now.
Yeah, Goudeau has been so good, and it's so important going into the playoffs because now you have another good option in a 3-game set. Who knows if we'll see Goudeau start one of those games, but especially in a rubber game in that series, it's possible you see Ashton Goudeau. It's good that so many starters are good right now for Kansas City.
But you mentioned the pitching matchup is good today. The offenses are going to be a handful. As we take a look at our stat sheet brought to you by Sheet Metal Workers Local Number 2, these are 2 of the best hitting teams in the league.
And you saw the offenses explode in Game 1 of this series, especially Cleburne. But when you go back to when Kansas City was at Cleburne for those 6 games straight, I mean, how good of offenses did we see? How many walk-offs did we see? They're just so exciting, these 2 teams.
Kansas City's stat sheet is brought to you by Sheet Metal Workers Local Number 2, where they offer an outstanding 5-year apprenticeship program with excellent employment opportunities and benefits. Learn more about their commitment to building a stronger future for the unionized sheet metal industry at sheetmetal2.org. Kansas City, Cleburne. If the Monarchs win, they lock up home field in round 1. That's what's on the line today on Facebook Live.